Welcome to Human Stories. Before we begin, tell us in the comments which city you're watching this video from today, and if you believe that true love is always full of surprises, hit that subscribe button. Captain Michael Kane thought everything would be the same when he returned home after completing his 6-month deployment. Standing at the front door, he heard familiar voices inside, but a strange feeling washed over him. Instead of using his key, he decided to knock first. "Who's there?" came the voice. It was Sarah's voice, but there was a tension in her tone he'd never heard before. "It's me, honey. Michael." When the door opened, the woman standing before him wasn't the wife he'd left 6 months ago. Same brown hair, same green eyes, but there was a completely different expression in her gaze. When he reached out to hug her, Sarah stepped back, as if she wasn't expecting him. "Welcome home," she said, but her eyes dropped to the floor. "You're early." For the first time in their 10-year marriage, his wife couldn't look him in the eye. Michael set his bag down. "I wanted to surprise you. I missed you." Sarah forced a smile. "I missed you too. I'm just caught off guard." The next morning at breakfast, when Sarah's phone started ringing on the table, she frantically turned it off. "Wrong number," she said quickly, flipping the phone face down. Michael frowned. In 10 years, Sarah had never acted this way when her phone rang. She would always say, "Let's see who's calling," and answer curiously. Now she was treating her phone like an enemy. "Honey, is everything okay?" he asked. Sarah nodded too quickly. Yes, I've just been getting a lot of spam calls lately." Michael took a sip of his coffee. Sarah's hands were shaking. Throughout the day, he observed Sarah. His normally relaxed and open wife was constantly carrying her phone, checking messages immediately when they came in. But when Michael was around, she never looked at her phone. At dinner, Sarah suddenly stood up. "I forgot. I need to take something to our neighbor, Mrs. Henderson. I'll be right back." "Now? It's 8 o'clock. "Yes, it's important. I'll be back in 10 minutes. When Sarah left, Michael peeked through the curtain. He didn't see his wife going to Mrs. Henderson's house. Instead, she drove to the end of the street and parked there for a while. A knot formed in Michael's stomach. On the third night, when Michael got up to use the bathroom, he noticed Sarah wasn't in the bedroom. He quietly went downstairs and found her in the kitchen, whispering on the phone. "No, not now. He's home. We'll talk tomorrow." Michael froze. Who was on the other end? And why was she talking secretly? When Sarah hung up and turned around, she saw Michael. Her face went white. "Michael, you scared me." "Who are you talking to?" "Nobody. It was Emily. Her baby was sick. She wanted advice." Michael nodded but didn't believe it. He knew Emily didn't have a baby. Actually, Emily had never even gotten married. The next day, he saw his neighbor Tom Wilson working in his yard. Tom was a retired Navy officer who tried to maintain good neighborly relations. "Michael, welcome back. How was the deployment?" "Thanks, Tom. Everything went well." Michael hesitated. "Tom, did you notice anything strange around here while I was gone?" Tom's expression changed. "Strange how?" "I don't know. Sarah seems different to me." Tom looked around, then came closer to Michael. "Actually," he started, then stopped. "No, it's not my place to say." "Tom, please, I'm worried." Tom took a deep breath. "I've been seeing Sarah leave the house a lot lately, especially in the evenings. And she had visitors." Michael's heart started racing. "What kind of visitors?" "I don't know. I just saw different cars and lights were on late at night. That evening, Sarah said, 'I'm going shopping again.' Michael decided to follow her. He watched from a distance as Sarah drove toward downtown, but she didn't go to the shopping mall. Instead, she parked at a small office building. Michael got out of his car and walked to the building. He could see inside through the glass door. Sarah was there, sitting with a group of people, talking seriously. There were papers on the table and everyone was taking notes. This wasn't shopping. This was a meeting. Michael returned home confused. Sarah came home 2 hours later with shopping bags. "How was shopping?" Michael asked. "Good, I got some things," Sarah said, taking the bags to the kitchen. When Michael checked the bags, there were only a few random items inside, as if they'd been hastily filled. The passing days were driving Michael crazy. Sarah's behavior was becoming increasingly strange. She never left her phone open anymore. After using the computer, she cleared everything. She would get up in the middle of the night and have conversations in other rooms. Michael called his friend Jake. Jake was also military and had other friends who'd experienced similar situations. "Jake, I'm going to ask you something and I want you to be honest." "Go ahead, man." "I think Sarah is cheating on me." Jake was quiet. "Why do you think that?" Michael explained all his observations: secret phone conversations, fake shopping trips, changing behavior. "Dude," Jake said, "I've had a lot of friends go through this. Long deployments strain relationships. Maybe you should try talking to her." Chapter 7. Confrontation. That night Michael couldn't take it anymore. While Sarah was watching TV, he sat next to her. "Sarah, we need to talk." Sarah turned off the TV, realizing Michael was serious. "What are we going to talk about?" "You've been very different lately. Secret phone calls, evening outings, constantly being tense." Michael paused. "Are you cheating on me?" Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "Michael, how can you say such a thing?" "Then explain it to me. What's all this secrecy about? Who are you talking to? Where are you going?" Sarah stood up. "This means you don't trust me." "I've trusted you for 10 years, but now you're lying to me. You say you're talking to Emily about babies when Emily doesn't have a baby. You say you're going shopping but go to office buildings." Sarah stopped. You followed me?" "I was desperate, Sarah. Tell me what's happening." Sarah remained silent for a long time. Then she sat down and buried her face in her hands. "Michael, I'm going to tell you something, but you might be surprised." Michael's heart started beating wildly. Was the confession coming? Sarah hesitated. "I went back to university." "What?" "Law school. I'm taking night classes. I started 3 months ago." Michael was shocked. "Law school?" "Yes. I decided while you were deployed. It was always my dream, remember? But I didn't know your reaction. I thought maybe you wouldn't support me." Michael's mouth fell open. The phones, the secret outings, study group, assignments, project meetings, everything was related to classes. "I'm so sorry I lied to you, but I was scared." "Why were you scared?" Sarah wiped her eyes. "Because you're focused on your military career. We have a traditional marriage. I thought if I suddenly said I wanted to be career-oriented, you wouldn't support me." Michael sat next to Sarah. "Sarah, you're my wife. I'll always support you." "Really?" "Of course. But why did you hide it? We've shared everything for 10 years. Sarah took a deep breath. "Because before your last deployment, we talked about careers. You said, 'You stay home, I'll work outside.' It seemed like you were afraid of change." Michael remembered. They really had that conversation. "Sarah, I was thinking differently then. Now I understand that I need to support whatever you want." "Those secret phone calls were with my study partners. We're in exam period. We have to talk late at night." "What about the Mrs. Henderson lie?" Sarah laughed embarrassedly. "I was going to the library. I told you shopping because I didn't want to explain." Michael took Sarah's hands. "Sarah, I'm sorry for not supporting you. Law school is a great decision." "Do you really think so?" "Absolutely. You're very smart. You'll be a great lawyer." Sarah smiled through her tears. "Not being able to tell you was driving me crazy. Having to lie every day." "No more lies," Michael said. "From now on, we share everything." Sarah nodded. "Classes are hard. Sometimes I get very stressed. Then I'll help you. I'll be your supporter in studying." The next day, Michael talked to his neighbor Tom again. "Tom, I talked to Sarah last night. Everything came out." Tom looked worried. "Is everything okay?" "Yes. Sarah went back to university. She's studying law. The visitors you saw were study group members. Tom relaxed. Ah, that makes perfect sense. Young people were coming and going, with books. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to interfere with Sarah's business, but now I understand. Ending. Strengthened relationship. Months later, Michael was sitting in the front row at Sarah's graduation ceremony. When Sarah received her diploma, she looked at Michael and smiled. Those secret days were now behind them. On the way home, Sarah said, "I'm still sorry. I shouldn't have not trusted you." Michael said, "No, I shouldn't have made you feel unsafe. From now on, you should know we can discuss any topic." "It was our first major crisis in 10 years of marriage," Sarah said. "And we overcame it," Michael said. "Now we're stronger." Sarah put her hand on Michael's hand. "I love you." "I love you too." "My lawyer wife." They both laughed. Sometimes the biggest secrets are the most beautiful surprises, and sometimes our doubts open the way to strengthening our relationship. Tell us in the comments, do you think Sarah should have been open from the beginning? And how do you share such big decisions with your spouse? Don't forget to subscribe, because every week we bring you stories about the surprises of true love.